Man, where's my oil filter socket? Ah, all right. Jeez. Flagger. All right. So today we're gonna do a quick oil change on my Cayman. This is my 2007 PANDEM Cayman S. I had a bump and it went. Seven o'clock here at Spokane. Nana's drinking beer as usual. Anyways, I haven't taken this car out much because I've been working on the Miata, or I've been working on the Honda bikes that you can't see right here, or I've been going out filming and shooting photos. So today we're gonna do a quick oil change because it's been about a year since the last oil change, and I typically like to do an annual oil change regardless of mileage. I've probably only put about 200 miles on this car this year, but you know, you don't want to let the oil sit in the engine for longer than that. I mean, I probably pushed it like a year and some months, but typically you want to change it out because the older the mosquito, oh, I missed them. The older the oil gets, the more acidic it gets, and you know, it's not good for your engine. I'm no chemist, but I've talked to the guys at HOWTO, which right here, my favorite oil, and you know, they told me change your oil annually if you don't hit the mileage. And typically for these cars, you want to change it every 5,000, but I always do like every 3,000 if I did put a lot of miles on it. My Integra, my Miata, everything, my bikes, every 3,000 miles. Now, some newer cars, they'll say that you're okay with every 7,000 miles. Some Euro cars will be like every 15,000 miles. My smart car, every 15,000 miles. That's when they do their oil changes. So the idea that you need to change the oil every 3,000 miles is old school, because that's, you know, when I was growing up, my dad always changed the oil every 3,000 miles. Now, that might be because of marketing from big oil companies that want to take your money. So with the oils these days are so dang good that you don't really need to change your oil as often. All right, and filtration, the engine's way better, tighter tolerances, you know. So every 5,000 might be fine, every 7,000 depending on the car. So the oil I'm using today, this is the Torco SR5R. I use this on the Miata, I use this on this car, I use this on other cars. The Integra actually uses the SX8, which is a full synthetic as well, but it's, you know, more for a street car. Now, this is a street car, yeah, it's not a race car, but I put so much money into everything that I've done to this car, including engine, that I do use the race stuff. So this is about 20 bucks a quart, and the Cayman will use about 8 quarts. All right, so if you're a Porsche guy, this will probably help you a little bit. What you want to get is you want to get this oil filter socket from Porsche. I got this straight from them, and it's just aluminum. And then I have the drain plug torque spec right there, 19 foot-pounds, just because. I actually got a magnetic drain plug, so I'll show you that here in a minute. I got me the OE Porsche oil filter kit. Now this is something funny here. See this? This thing's got the insert. So the Porsches, they take these little filter inserts, but this thing right here, say, I forgot what this thing is supposed to be like 30 bucks or something. So this filter, say it's $30. That's what I remember. And this right here, I think it's about 30 bucks as well. But if you buy this, it comes with a freaking filter. So why would someone buy just the filter and the cap separately? It doesn't make any sense. That's the funniest thing with this setup. I'm just like, wait a minute. Why would I buy the freaking cap if I could get the filter with the cap together? Or why would I buy just the filter if I can get the whole thing together? So anyways, if you want the OE assembly, this right here, just go to Pelican and you can get this whole thing for about 30 bucks. Now, I also got this magnetic drain plug. Thing's pretty awesome. So you can see right there, magnetic drain plug. It's good to just get one of these because, I don't know, it's always good to collect all the shavings and whatnot if you have any shavings in there. And that's pretty much it. Your basic tool set right here will do, and obviously your favorite choice of oil. And what you want to do first is you want to warm up the car. That way the oil flows nice and easy, and then you can change the oil. So let's go ahead and do that. First, we're gonna warm up the car, and then we're gonna jack it up real quick because, oh well, yeah, my setup right here is kind of different, but jacking up the car is pretty simple if you have an OEM car. But with all the knickknacks I have with the aero and whatnot, it's a little bit challenging, but not impossible. All right, I'm gonna be real with you guys. Jacking this car up is a total pain in the booty. Why? Because it's freaking lowered. And I have a bunch of aero stuff sticking out everywhere, so not fun. And then filling up the oil too is challenging because my trunk, as you can see back here, it's got a big ass spoiler wing mount. I got a spoiler and then a wing. It's like a double. All right, let's turn off the lights and everything first, and then we need to jack this car up before I warm it up because I don't want to be fiddling with it while I'm trying to jack up the car. So typically the easiest way to jack up this car, if you go back here, I know you guys can't see it right now, but you can actually jack it up from the middle right here where the little brace, there's a little brace back there, I'll shoot that later, that supports the middle where the triangle connects to, and you could jack up the whole center using that, but now I don't have that because I got stuff all over the place. So yeah, it's a little bit more challenging. Now I could remove the diffuser. That'd probably make my life easier, but I'm gonna not do that, and we're gonna do this slightly different today. Oh my god, it barely fits. It's crazy. And then you just gotta find your OE jack point. It's somewhere down here. Okay, we gotta go down. Wow, I can't believe this actually fits. Amazing. All right, so we got the left side of the car up. Right here, I got a jack stand right under that suspension mount, which is actually an approved spot. Then I got my giant jack right under the OE jack point, and same with the front. And I also have a jack stand up there. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna warm up the car a little bit. I've already pre-warmed it earlier. I'm just gonna warm it up just a little bit more, and then we're gonna take out the drain plug, which is in the back right there, and slide our pan, it's just over there, and we're gonna lower the car and let it, just let it drip out for about 20 minutes. And then we're gonna replace the plug and the filter, and then we're just gonna fill it up. And that's pretty much it, super simple. But the hardest part, I think, is jacking up the car and figuring out how to get it supported. As you can see, it looks kind of sketchy, but it's actually okay. I have two I have 2 chocks, one right here and one in the front right here, so it doesn't move or anything like that. So if you're doing something like this, it's quite safe. Though it looks a little bit sketchy, it's not gonna go anywhere regardless of components failing. So if the 2 jacks right there fail, the jack stands will catch the car. If the jack stands fail, I have the 2 jacks. So, I mean, if they all failed, I'd be screwed, but we're gonna re-warm up our oil. I've already done this earlier, but we're just gonna re-warm. E-brake on, neutral, and then we're just gonna let it chill for a minute here. I'm definitely on neutral. All right, here we go. Letting it warm up a little bit more, and then we're gonna evacuate the oil. So, take this guy. I think I might have already put a magnetic one on here. This looks quite magnetic. Oh, it looks fancy at least. That's not a stock nut. I just waste money on a new nut. So I got my container right here. I'm gonna undo this guy. Okay, here we go. Ready? I don't even have a rag, dang it. Oh, here it goes. Ah! Look at that, look how clean that oil is. Yeah, no mileage. Whatever you do, make sure you have safety stands or you're gonna die. Okay, here we go. So, the oil's completely evacuated out of the system now. Now we're gonna take off the cartridge. I have this filter socket, and I'm just gonna do this real quick. Okay, here we go. Now the beauty with the Porsche's oiling system is the freaking cartridge is vertical, so it doesn't really make a mess. When you take out this cap, everything's inside the filter cap. Just don't drop it though, then you'll make a mess. Okay, oh, here we go. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. Leftover oil right there. Just gonna leave it in that. Then I'm just gonna pull this guy off. Just give it a slight spin. And then there you go. That guy's off. And I need a rag, but now I don't have a rag. Hey Ian, you there? Nope. See, when you need help, nobody's here. Dang it. I gotta crawl out again and get my freaking rag. Oh, this sucks. Okay. All right, I'm back. All right, now that you've evacuated all the oil, push that guy away. Wipe this down real quick. All right. I'm gonna move this guy out of the way. Move that guy there a little bit. And there you go. We're just gonna take this guy, slide him off to the side. All right, perfect. I got a little bit more space here. Okay. Now, after you wipe down the oil filter hole right here, the little socket, connector, whatever you want to call it, wipe it down real good. All right. I know you guys can't see this, but I'm assuming you guys know how to wipe down a dirty area. All right. Then you take your oil drain plug wherever it is, and you put it back on. Where's my oil drain plug? I bought a new one. Where'd you go? Oh, damn. So here's your filter assembly. Here's my oil. I'm just gonna pour oil right in here. All right. Until it's, you know, pretty close to the top. So I've already got some oil here. I'm gonna put it around the oil, the O-ring, just like your typical regular filter. You know, on different cars, they have regular filters. I'm just gonna put some oil on the outside so it doesn't rip the O-ring once we tighten it up. And that's basically the purpose of oiling up the O-ring, so you don't rip the O-ring as you tighten. Okay, I'll put some in here too, around the ring. All right, now we take this whole assembly and try not to spill all over the place. We're just gonna screw it back up here. All right, there you go, careful. You guys have no idea what I'm doing up here, but I'm basically just spinning on the filter. Okay. I remember I said, do not over tighten or over fill the cap, because then you're gonna get oil oozing all over the place. And then when you tighten it, just use the socket again, and then just give it a snug. That's it. All right. A few ooga oogas with your ooga ooga maker, and you're good. Wipe down the area. All right. Take your magnetic drain plug, put it back in the area where it should go, so under the oil pan. All right, make sure you have a new washer. If you don't have a new washer, you can anneal it by heating it up. And then take your twerk wrench and hit it at 19 foot-pounds. There you go. Hit it a few times, and then once you're happy, you're good, baby. And that's it. All we gotta do is fill the filler up there, and then we're done. Next, we're gonna pop the trunk, and we're gonna make a little support right here. All right, so this will open about this much, right there, till it hits the spoiler or the wing mount. And we're just gonna put this blue tape roll right where this thing stops. So right there. We're gonna put the piece of tape right there. All right, both sides. I know, ghetto, but this is how my trunk setup works. And it works. There you go. And done. Now this car takes about 8 quarts of oil, so it's a lot of fun to do this while you have no room. So this is the oil spot right here. All right, so now we got the car back down on the ground. We're gonna fill it up. This car takes about 8 quarts, so I'm gonna do 2, 4, 6, and then the 7 and 8, I'm just gonna slowly drop it in there. But the 6 quarts, we can just kind of dump in there. Now, this car is pretty funny because it's obviously a mid-engine rear-wheel drive, so the oil goes in the back right here. So, see that? It's a little bit tricky here. and it's easy to get this dirty, but the oil cap's right here. Do not get this mixed up with the blue cap. The blue cap is your coolant. You don't want to put oil in the coolant, trust me, that would suck. All right, so I'm gonna get a rag over here real quick. Oh yeah, and then we're just gonna slowly fill this up. And if you manage to spill oil somewhere here, it's okay. This car's got a catch, OE catch. So 6 quarts first. It's crazy, this car takes 8 quarts. All right, here we go. No funnel, no problem. All right, well, you guys can't probably see this, but I'll try my best to give you a decent angle. And then, oh my God, yeah. Wing problems. All right, here we go. 8 quarts. And the way you check the oil level on this car is pretty funny. It's all digital, so there's no dipstick, none of that. It's all digital at the gauge cluster. So I'll show you that after we fill this up. All right, it's gonna take forever. Oh, I just spilled. All right, you get the idea. So I'm gonna do 7 more, and then we'll come back. Once you have the oil filled, 7 quarts, you're gonna go inside your car. You're gonna turn it on, all right? And then you're gonna go through all your systems, whatever, depending on if you have any faults, it'll tell you, okay? And then you press back, or is it forward? And then you go to oil, and then it's gonna start reading the oil level, all right? It's probably gonna be, okay, see? So it says full. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna restart the car, like turn it on, let it go through the system, let it sit, and then we can read it again. The part is if I turn on the car, it's gonna take about another 20 minutes to remeasure, because the computer won't remeasure unless it's, you know, set for that long. So right now it looks like it's full, but I doubt it's full because I only put in 7 quarts. It takes about 8 quarts. All right, so we're just gonna start the car, let it warm up for a bit, and then remeasure everything. Make sure your cap's back on. All right, so what you want to do is you want to let it sit for a bit, let it idle, let it warm up, and then we can recheck the level. This thing is pretty loud, man. But it must be done. My neighbors love me though. They're pretty cool. They're all pretty chill. They know that my cars are crazy and loud, so they're like, that car's cool. So I'm just gonna let this warm up for about 5 minutes here. We're gonna turn it off, let it sit for another 20 minutes, and then remeasure everything. And then we're done. It's that simple. The hardest part of this whole oil change is the jacking up the car part. Jacking up the car, because, you know, with my setup, it's a little bit tedious. But for you, if you have a stock Cayman, it'll be a lot easier. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. I'm gonna reset the computer here. Okay. That's gonna go through its rounds. It's gonna tell me lights are out, this thing's out, that failure. It's just, that's normal. Okay. Then we're gonna read the oil. Okay, now it's reading. All right, you see it? It's doing its cycle. There you go. Perfect. You want that one black bar above the arrow. All right, you see that arrow? You want to be just perfect with that arrow. All right, you just want to be in line with that arrow. You don't want to be over the arrow where the black bar is. That means it's full. All right, you see that? See, there's one black bar. You want to keep that empty, because if you overfill this and that black bar is full, the computer doesn't know whether it's 3 quarts overfilled, 5 quarts, 20 million quarts overfilled. It's just gonna show you a full bar. Now, when you have it just above the arrow, all right, when you look at it again, that arrow right there on the right side, it's saying that's full, and that's where you should be. That black bar means you're overfilled. That is perfect, and that's what you want. And essentially, all I did was I filled up that little container with oil, and then the rest of the 7 quarts I poured in the car, and that's it. All right, once you're done, just make sure that you button up everything. The drain plug needs to be tightened to 19 foot-pounds. The cap needs to be tightened to 25 Newton meters, and the back of the car, the oil cap that you've removed, don't forget to put that back on, because if you forget, you're gonna make a mess. Trust me, I've seen it. But that's pretty much it. This whole process took me, I don't know, less than 25 minutes before I started filming, so it's pretty easy. With filming, it took a bit longer, obviously, but the whole process is so simple. Oil changes on the Cayman, ridiculously easy. Now, if you have a stock Cayman, it'll be a breeze. You could literally do this oil change in about 20 minutes or so. But if you have a PANDEM Cayman like this, it might take you a little bit longer because of all the aero and, you know, the height issue and whatnot. So don't be scared. It's super easy to do this on your Porsche. So if you have a 997, 987, 986, it's essentially the same. Just make sure that you get a new filter with a new cap, and get yourself a magnetic drain plug, because that helps a lot.